Hello. I'm going to use the Lighthouse wide file here to show you how to make use of the crop tool in Photoshop. Um, Oftentimes when you have made a composition or you've taken a bunch of shots or you've taken a shot and the zoom level isn't what you wanted it to be, or just isn't quite as good of a shot. There was something in the background. You do want to crop it down, and so I'm just going to show you how to use the crop tool in Photoshop to take advantage of that. So the crop tool is down here along the left-hand panel right there. And when you click on the crop tool, immediately you notice that these bordering edges come up on the corners and the sides. And this is one way you can crop. You can actually click and hold and drag these and bring them down. And notice that the area outside of your selection grays out. That's telling you what part of the image you're going to lose once you crop it out. You'll notice that there's options along the top here. There's a rule of thirds here, so you can see the rule of thirds overlay. I found that really useful to help sort of compose your image and put certain key things along the rule of thirds lines. There's other options too, grid if you'd like, or golden ratio and things like that, or none at all if you want to, but I like using the rule of thirds. And once you're happy with your selection, you can do one of two things. You can double click inside your selection and your image is cropped, or alternatively you can also just hit enter at that point, and the same thing will happen. The other way that you can crop is, instead of dragging in these corners, you notice that you do get crosshairs of a cursor. You can just, like a rectangular marquee, you can just draw on a selection, and that selection turns into a crop selection. And then again, double click to apply. There's a danger sometimes in cropping when you find things that you want and things that you're trying to cut out, that you kind of just crop sort of unconstrained, it's called. You can see unconstrained here. You're like, okay, well, I don't need that much sky, and I'm going to make it pretty long. And this is actually like an irregular size for printing an image. So sometimes you see some strange looking long rectangles that wouldn't actually fit on a printed paper if you're thinking about printing your work. In order to rectify this, there's actually a tool here. Instead of doing unconstrained, say I wanted to make a 5x7 print, and so I wanted to have, I'm going to type in 5 inches here by 7 inches, and then all of a sudden it notice that immediately crops it down, and so wherever I want to crop it to, it keeps that 5x7 inch constraint. But here I am realizing, no, wait a minute, I don't want 5x7, I want 7x5. So you can actually just hit this button here and it rotates it, so it flips these two numbers, so it's 7 inches by 5 inches. And now the cool thing is it's constrained to to that ratio, so now you can move it around and get your crop just right, and you know that resulting crop will be 5x7, and you can then take that or send it to the print shop and print your photograph, and it'll be the proper proportions. You're noticing that I'm undoing the crop every once in a while. There's a couple ways to go about that. You can edit undo, which is like undoing your last step, which is the shortcut is Control Z, and then you can actually redo that by hitting it again. You can go back and forth between your edits. Also, if you're cropping down and you don't like that selection, you can just quickly hit Escape, and you'll get out of it. The last thing I'll show you too is just like the selection tool. Don't crop here. When you make a selection here, you can hold down Shift, and just like the selection tool, if you want an Instagram square, it constrains it to a square, and then you can then move that square around and click it down. So there you go. There's the crop tool. A great tool for editing your photos.